What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we have an amazing show for you here today. Thank you for tuning in to all the people watching. Where do all the fights start? At round one. What's up, guys? Going good. What's up, Fortnite? What's up? Listen, when you as you're entering, please give the channel a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And like always, we got a lot to cover, and I have a lot to unfold here on this episode. There were a lot said throughout social media, and I have to clear up a couple things. So let's get right into this video. So one of my subscribers hit me to another YouTube channel out there. I guess it's called Golden Era Boxing. And it's where a guy, just such as myself, he gets on and he's talking about boxers and stuff and in Spanish and in English. And I could see that, he knows both languages. So he's going to understand when I say this, you know, um, guys like that, you know, um, they're fans of boxing. I can see that, and obviously he knows who the boxers are and stuff. But sometimes, you can tell when a guy's just watching other YouTube channels, and they're kind of like just copy paste and print what other people are saying, or probably people that they like. You know, um, for him to come out and say that Ryan Garcia would beat Subriel Matias at 140 pounds, that's kind of like a big stretch, you know. When Subriel Matias is making the last five of opponents quit, he bodied a man in the ring, and he's like has 100% knockout ratio, and it's easy to say because it rolls off his tongue so freely. Years other channels say it, and he'll just say it. But I believe that'll be easier said than done. And according to him, you know, um, Subriel's not that guy, and I gotta tell you, man, it's hard to believe when the evidence is in black and white. See, here at this sports channel, we only go what's on paper. And what's on paper, Subriel is the best 140-pound established boxer in boxing today. Okay, so I'm gonna go by that. Ryan Garcia has never really made 140 pounds. He was just a bigger guy trying to fight at a lower weight division where he didn't need much skill. Okay. And this win over Devin Haney has really put him in an interesting place because it has a lot of casual fans confused on Ryan Garcia's skill. Another thing he said was Jerron Ennis was the most avoided fighter in all of boxing. There he goes again, copy, paste, print. That is a narrative that was put out by his team during a period of he was going in time where he knew he was going to be inactive. His promotional manager died, and he was in a stalemate where he couldn't put together any fights. So in order for his, boxing promoter and to work all this out in court, he needed to keep his name irrelevant. And the story they was putting out that he was the most avoided, that Errol Spence Jr. didn't want to fight him, Terrence Crawford didn't want to fight him, or that Terrence is up to it, but making it like he was avoiding him. That's not what's going on with Jerron Ennis. I don't think too many people are really, the guys that he was saying was avoiding him. Some were and some weren't. The thing is, what he doesn't take into account are these fighters are in two different places in their career. Fighters like Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford are pay-per-view fighters. They're up here making millions of dollars. Jerron Ennis, although a phenomenal um talent, and I think he's going to be the next best thing. Absolutely. Right? He's just not on their level. He has to earn his way up. He's going to have to fight the fights and win the fights to prove himself. He's the IBF champion, but technically he didn't beat anybody for that belt. So how is he the most avoided fighter when one, he hasn't been fighting anybody, he hasn't fought any of the real top guys, and he doesn't have a real title claim to the IBF title because he hasn't defended it yet. He's not avoided by these top guys. He's just not on their level. And from the outside looking in, it'll look like the top guys are avoiding him. They're not. He just hasn't earned his way yet. And if he was a real boxing, um, you know, and covering boxing and looking in the inside, he would have saw that. But since a lot of these people like to copy paste Brent, that's what you're gonna get out of YouTube channels like this guy here. That's all that is. And I know Jerron Boots Ennis is ready for the top guys, but I am in agreement. He's gonna have to make his way, just like all the top guys did once upon a time. Speaking about Subriel Matias, right? I want to talk about this, and in a way, I'm gonna tread softly. Okay. I happen to know the ins and outs on this, and Oscar De La Hoya came out on social media and accused superstar Puerto Rican boxer Subriel Matias for being Dominican and for faking that he is Puerto Rican, and that if a man's from somewhere else, he should claim his island and not fake to be from somewhere else. That's what Oscar De La Hoya, the boxing promoter, the legend, came out on social media and took shots at Subriel Matias. Okay. Now, I want to come out in the defense of Subriel Matias and show the world how much of a piece of shit move that was from Oscar De La Hoya. First of all, Oscar De La Hoya, nice try. And to try to get Subriel Matias lured into a conversation and to get him to talk about this very particular issue. But I'm going to shut all that shit down right here and right now. And I hope someone can get this video out to Subriel Matias. Here's how we are determined as individuals on this planet Earth, we call Earth. Okay. For instance, if an American couple were to travel to Russia while the female was 8 months, 9 months pregnant, right? She was going to give due any day now. And she happened to give birth in Russia. That baby is no longer technically an American citizen, regardless of the baby's parents. The baby's both parents could be American. That baby is now a Russian for the rest of his life. So, what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter who your parents are in the world, it matters where you were conceived in the world. Your birth certificate is going to say your place of birth. Nice try for trying to call out his parents, right? But it so happens that I know for a fact his mother is 100% Puerto Rican. Okay? She was born in Puerto Rico. Subriel Matias himself was born on the island of Puerto Rico. He has a birth certificate. So no matter what he's saying, that perhaps Subriel Matias, his father, was Chinese, black, Dominican, Russian, Ukrainian, whatever his father was, I guess that wouldn't matter now, would it? Because he was born on the island of Puerto Rico. And at the end of the day, it's what it says on your birth certificate. Subriel Matias is 100% Puerto Rican, no matter what his father is. It's where you were born. What country, what island? I'm Puerto Rican, but I was born in America. I'm an American. You see? Nice try, Oscar de la Hoya, to try to take stabs at Subriel Matias is a Puerto Rican credentials. To try to discredit him, Oscar, there was many things said about you. Even the women you like, or men, I mean women that you like. There were a lot said. You do not, Oscar de la Hoya, want to open this can of worms. You're climbing up the wrong tree, my man. Keep this shit boxing. That's my advice to Oscar de la Hoya. You see, a lot of these promoters and boxers, it seems like whatever the trend is. You see Tank Davis going at it with Floyd Mayweather, right? Talking about sleeping with his daughter, talking about sleeping with his girls. Bro, I could see that if one guy does it, the other one has no problem taking stabs at men like this. Bro, you're talking about his mother and about who she lays with and what you're. Listen, Oscar, you're playing with fire, dude. I'm trying to tell you right now. And that was a real low blow. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. And Subriel Matias was born in Puerto Rico. That's what it says on his birth certificate. That's exactly who he is. He doesn't need to prove anything to you or who his dad was, whether he knows him or don't know him or never met him in his life. I don't think that's any of your business. And I don't think that's anything of the world's business. What does that have to do with him boxing in the ring? That's a real piece of shit move, Oscar. But yo, I wouldn't expect anything less from a man like you. You're a boxing promoter. This is what they do. Real fucking dirty shitbag sharks. I see. I see. You know his mom's Puerto Rican. Full blooded, bro. We know people from the Caserio, bro. We know exactly where Subriel was born. But the thing is what's going on is that listen, brother, it's not my place to come and really talk about this. This is Subriel Matias's place. I have no right talking about anything, right? And with all respect to Subriel Matias, may if I ever meet him and I ever said anything wrong, brother, I just came to your defense, okay? And I know a lot more than what I'm saying. And I know a lot more than what I'm saying to be true. And I already know all these things to be facts. I know some of his closest homies that grew up with him. All right. So I've already heard this story, right? But I never reported it because it's not on me to do that. That's on Subriel Matias to do it. But the story is that Subriel never knew his dad. He never met him. And who's his father? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's saying. His father could have been fucking Japanese, Chinese, Russian. His father could have been black, American. I don't care who his dad was. Or that if his mom, like, had a short relationship with him and he left. All right. So what, bro? How many American mothers are single mothers out here in the world? So just because she was a single mother and she raised him, his brothers, and she was out there doing this by herself, you're gonna question that? Like who's your dad type shit? Yo, Oscar, bro, that's a real piece of shit move, bro. There are hundreds of American kids out here fatherless. It don't matter who your father is, man. What you trying to say? Subriel's Chinese? Subriel's Japanese? He's Russian? He's Dominican? What? It's not who his father is. In this world, man, in this world, the way we are governed, it is where you are born that determines what you are. You can be a Chinese and the Chinese mother gave birth to you in Europe. Guess what that Chinese baby is? A European. I don't care what the mother and father are. You can see it plain as day. The baby's Chinese. It was an accident. They were out here on business. It does not matter. That baby's going to be put on the birth certificate European. That's 100% fact. The way that you are determined in this world, it's where your place of birth. And since Subriel Matias was officially born in Puerto Rico in a Puerto Rican hospital, guess what, Oscar, piece of shit? He's Puerto Rican 100%. And it doesn't matter who his father is. That doesn't determine him. It's his place of birth. He was born on the island, and his mother is Puerto Rican, bro. So go fuck yourself. That's a piece of shit, man. Listen. See, I know a lot more to the story, and that's why it bothers me and hurts me so much. But like I said, man, it is not up to me to talk about shit like this, but I am coming to his defense for as much as I can to shed some light on this. And the facts are the facts. And what I just stated is the truth. And Subriel doesn't have to prove anything to Oscar or to anyone else about who his father is or where he came from. That don't fucking matter, bro. He's our son. That's our boy. He's Puerto Rican. Stop trying to turn him against us and us against him. I see what you're doing, Oscar, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. This ain't an Obama situation where we're asking to see the President Obama's birth certificate and it's sealed up for the next 77 years and we can't see it. It ain't no secret. It's there for public record. Exactly the hospital, where and when he was born. Period. And you can't take that away from him. But I see what you're doing, bro. I see what you're doing. It's dividing the boxing community front line. You know it. Listen, this is bullshit, bro. Because I know how Subriel feels about this topic. You know what I mean? And I see where Oscar is going because this is for a future jab. Oscar the promoter is thinking like Oscar the boxer. He's thinking two steps ahead. You see, this is stated now for a future argument against one of his guys. Don't you see that this is going to come out in a press conference somewhere against an Oscar De La Hoya fighter? Yeah, he's going to set this up. He's got his little Ryan Garcia. Look, I've heard Oscar take jabs at a lot of people. Dana White from the UFC. And that was ugly. They were going back in exchange. I seen Oscar De La Hoya take shots at boxers. I seen Oscar De La Hoya take shots at other promoters. I seen Oscar De La Hoya, he gets down with the best of them. He gets down with the best of them. But I take it personal a little bit when, one, he's Puerto Rican. He's our guy, man. And I have to come to defense on a topic that in an issue that I know to be he has like Oscar has 3% of his story is true. The fact about his dad and him not knowing who he is. That's it. The rest he made up. The rest Oscar De La Hoya made up. No one knows what nationality he is or was. That's up to his mother. But realistically, at the bottom line is where you were born. And he was born in Puerto Rico, and that solidifies it for me. It's not like his mother was Puerto Rican, his father was Puerto Rican, and Subriel Mateo was born in New York City. Now he would be an American. If Subriel Mateo was born in New York City, he would be an American. Or he was born in Chicago or anywhere in America. He wouldn't be considered, a Puerto Rican island born fighter. He would be considered Puerto Rican, yes, but not a Puerto Rican island born fighter. And since he was born in Puerto Rico, he is considered an island born Puerto Rican fighter. So by trying to discredit his Puerto Rican roots and coming at him in a way that he knew emotionally this could take a jab at Subriel. But if Subriel really takes the time to think about it and to watch my video, of course, right, and see, no, I am 100% Puerto Rican. I was born here. That solidifies it right there. That's it. So, he doesn't have to let guys like this, and I don't know what this has to do with boxing, but I do know what it has to do with boxing. It's because although it has absolutely nothing to do with boxing, this is how you get in a fighter's head for potential and future opponents, or you know what I mean? And I think that Oscar de la Hoya is hearing that Subriel is making headways. He's training in Mexico right now, and I think he wants to put a wedge between Oscar's coach and him, type thing. And I'm not really too sure when he's going to use it, but I'm sure that Oscar de la Hoya does everything for a reason. He does have a tendency of saying stupid shit, but I think this was a calculated move on his behalf. It was a piece of shit move, but it was a calculated one. And as soon as I heard it, and I heard the message from Oscar de la Hoya, and I heard Subriel Matias's response to Oscar de la Hoya, because Subriel did respond to him on this topic right here. He's already responded to him. So I was like, shit, like fucking Oscar, right? Shitbag, you know? Get it off your chest. Yeah, man. Listen. I got you, man. That was a bad move. Then it was a real bad look on his part too, because you shouldn't do that. All right, let me catch up to you guys. We got a lot of messages here popping off. What's up, Lloyd? What's up, man? I'm fatherless. I hear you, brother. Which means Matias is an American. He's fatherless, so it makes him an American. Well, you know, guys want to know something? At the end of the day, if he was born in Puerto Rico, it makes him an American, right? Puerto Rico's part of America, right? So it really did. So if, wait a minute, we got to change history. I'm full blooded Puerto Rican. Yeah, that's right. I just figured this out. Because if I was born in America and Puerto Rico's part of America, isn't that the same place? Full blooded Puerto Rican. Yeah. Yo, you Puerto Rican dudes, bro. Y'all gotta take me in, man. Yeah. Yo, yo, listen. Yeah, I saw the reply message that Subriel sent. Yeah, I saw that. I'm Puerto Rican, born in America. My grandmother is Dominican. My father is Puerto Rican born. Oscar's trying to be slick and make it divided into people. Yes, he always does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, not Oscar. He doesn't always do that. But what I meant to say was that's what they always try to do, is divide us. Whoever it is, whoever's, ever using a ploy like that is using to try to divide you from your people, like from us backing up Subriel Matias as the next Latin superstar. Because you have to understand that at the end of the day, there are a lot of Latin men that are Puerto Rican, Dominican that support Mexican fighters. There are a lot of Mexican people that support Subriel Matias. Yes, there is. There's a lot of, because we're Latin, and there's very few of us that are good and great. that are up there. So whenever we see basically another Latin fighter, typically if he's not fighting, your Latin people, we support him most of the times. But there's some stubborn guys that won't. Nah, fuck Dominican fighters, Puerto Rican guys. I've heard that all the time. But I've seen Dominican fighters, and watched them box and come up through the ranks right now, and I've talked about them. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of some Dominican fighters, absolutely. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. You know why? Because I don't see race. I see a fighter. I see a boxer. That's what I see. And what I'm actually a fan of is that boxer. That's all I see. Okay. And then these guys are going to try to, like, you know, what Oscar De La Hoya basically is doing is trying to call Subriel Matias Dominican. That's what he's doing. He's trying to say Subriel Matias, his father, is Dominican. That's what he's saying. And Oscar came out and said it like that, right? I mean, listen, women, my mom, your sister, your grandmother, your aunt, whoever, and men, we've all been in situations in our life where we were young one time, right? And we were out partying. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens, right? You meet a chick, you meet a girl, you meet a dude. Y'all all of a sudden having a great night, fantastic night. Y'all done went and saw a circus or something, went out to eat, fireworks, all kinds of shit. The night is perfect. Y'all end up on the beach on the island in Puerto Rico somewhere, laid up. Next day, he's like, yo, I gotta go, gets on a flight, heads out to America. She thinking nothing of it. A month later, her belly starts to show. Problem, don't have no idea back then how to contact homeboy. Really, you know what I'm saying? Didn't get his full name type shit, probably. You know, it was just a great night. All of a sudden, 9 months later, a little boy is born into this world. And he grows up to become the man he is today. And while he grows up to be the man he is today, here comes this shitbag boxing promoter. Hey, buddy, you're something else. You're this and this. You're not Puerto Rican. Having us question his, like, what? What are you talking about? Okay, Mom Dukes probably had a fling. I don't know. I'm not for certain on what happened. I made up the story about the beach and everything else. Yeah. I'm just painting you a picture, right? But we all make mistakes in life. The good thing is she didn't abort that child because look who that man turned out to be. She needs to be proud of the man she raised, and he is Puerto Rico's son. He's embraced by us, he is loved by us, he is born by us, and he is us. For Oscar De La Hoya to try to come between him, his race, and his people, and to say that he's pretending to be Puerto Rican, that he's pretending. He ain't pretending to be anything. From day one, baby, from the moment his foot ever touched the ground, it touched the ground in the island of Puerto Rico. That's who that man is. So, Oscar, bro, look, man, it was just a shitbag way about going about it. You know, we're all different of all walks of life. We all do things and get in situations, and women get pregnant, bro, you know? And stuff happens, bro. Stuff happens, but that doesn't make him no less. And for him to bring that into the equation that has nothing to do with boxing, brothers. Absolutely nothing. And that's why I think he's using it for future. You know what I mean? He's a shitbag for that, bro. All right, let me catch up to you guys. Oscar on that. How can someone respect Oscar? Hey, he's a boxing promoter, bro. At the end of the day, I'm pissed of a lot of things. What's up, Jose? Jose, if you're just tuning in, you're gonna have to go back to the beginning of this video because I already like said it like 5 times. You got to go back and check it out for me, Jose, and check it out, and I say what Oscar said about him. Um, but yeah, Yeah, that he's pretending to be Puerto Rican, Jose, and is a Dominican fighter. Yeah, that's what he's saying. And the reason why he's saying it, is because of who they believe his father is. And it's not really certain on who his father or what nationality he is. But that doesn't matter, bro. Like I said, like, women, shit happens, bro. You could have a one night stand, a weekend with a dude, and he gets on a plane and leaves. And, unbeknownst to you, a month later, boop, belly pops up, and now he's questioning who his real birth father actually is, and justifying that by he has to be that race, not a Puerto Rican race, when his mother gave birth to him in Puerto Rico. But Oscar's a shitbag. So, and then Subriel Matias himself responded to Oscar de la Hoya's message on Instagram, and they went back and forth, and then I heard both sides already. So, and since I know something about it and I know deeper about this story, I know a lot more. But it's like I said, it's not my place, to report anything of those that kind of shit, because that's his family. So I'll allow Subriel to talk, but Subriel doesn't really have to say anything. In this world, you're determined where the place of birth. He was born on the island of Puerto Rican. That solidifies that. He was born on the island of Puerto Rico. That solidifies that. That's it. You know, Mondia. What's up? I am from Puerto Rico, raised in the way we fight in the island. It is called. Yeah, I get. What's up, Crows? How you doing, brother? Thank you for tuning into the channel. Yeah, that's a. What's up, John? How you doing? Yeah, that's because that's what Oscar said. I didn't say that. Oscar said that in his Instagram. He called Subriel Matias a Dominican fighter. That's what Oscar said. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that that's what he said. But I get what Oscar was saying. And what I'm saying is, bro, it really doesn't matter if the nigga's dad was Chinese, fucking Jamaican, Haitian, European, Canadian. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. The dude upped and left. That much I do know. She never saw him again. She gave birth to the kid in the island of Puerto Rico. What is he? 100% Puerto Rican. What do you want me to say? you know? But Oscar's a piece of shit. That's it. That's all I can say. Because Oscar's doing this to second guess his nationality and his race. To get like the Puerto Ricans to be like, oh, he's not 100% this or what they saying he's this, and anything for Oscar. He's a fucking slime ball promoter. That's all. That's it. And you know, uh, he just got his guy in with a fight on that August 3rd fight. One of Oscar's fighter is Virgil Ortiz Jr. And you saw him in the ring. He's all smiles and shit because if anything went wrong and that guy happened to knock out Ortiz, he gets off that card. And at least he won't be in the co-main event. So Tim Tszyu staying in the co-main event, and it would just depend on who he fought. It's just remarkable that Tim Tszyu is making that quick turnaround after receiving that huge gash. And then look, they got Sebastian Fundora sidelined into September. But the guy that seemed to get, what it looked like, the bigger injury, right? He's already going to be back in action, you know, just, just before the September for Sebastian. And it kind of makes me think. But Terrence Crawford didn't want to wait around for Sebastian. That would have been over a year. He would have been sidelined. So it's good that Terrence is getting this fight right here. I like this fight in a lot of ways. So, you know, that's great. But like Subriel Matias right now and everyone that's taking shots at him, Teofimo Lopez, his dad, it seems like since Devin Haney fell, every man in the 140 is trying to solidify their dominance as the best 140 pounder. Isa Pitbull Cruz has to earn that right. So he's the quietest one, but he's making the quickest turnaround out of all of them. Well, Subriel already got a fight scheduled. I can't really say that about him. So Teofimo Lopez is still, I believe, going to have that fight out there in Honduras. But I know that Devin Haney right now is going to be pretty much out of the equation, or at least out of Subriel Matias's radar for the next two fights. For his next two fights, I don't think he's going to be fighting everybody else other than Subriel Matias. You see what I'm saying? And as far as Ryan Garcia, had that golden era boxing dude did his homework, he would know that before he would say that Ryan Garcia can beat Subriel Matias, he needed to ask himself a couple questions first. Do you really believe that Ryan Garcia can beat Ponce? You really think that? You really think that Ryan Garcia would outbox Ponce or Urvacek? You think that Ryan Garcia can beat Urvacek? These are questions they needed to ask themselves before they went right to the king. Just because he beat up Devin Haney, he jumped over everybody else at the 140. Like if they're not even standing there. Like if they're not even worthy opponents. I believe if you really wanted to get yourself established, beat these guys first. And then prove that you can beat these kind of guys, because Devin Haney didn't prove himself in the 140. By beating Devin Haney, Devin Haney had a false claim as the king in 140. He was never battle tested in 140. He only beat one guy, Regis Progress. He wasn't established, he wasn't acclimated, and he didn't fight any of the top guys. The only thing was that title fight. That's it. Okay? So you can't take that. And by Ryan beating Devin Haney, he was the new Jack at 140. So Bear Matias legitimately beat all the top guys. So in order for Ryan Garcia to get next to him, he would have to beat at least some of the top guys first. But we can all do away with all of that, because I'm going to help you out with this one. Had this guy also done his homework, he would know that Ryan Garcia is never fighting at 140, and that the fight with Subriel Matias is never going to happen, because Ryan Garcia can't make 140. So he's moving up to 147. And the one thing Ryan Garcia, I hope, and if Ryan Garcia ever sees this video, don't allow them to hype you up to get in the ring with Jerron Boots Ennis, my man. Don't do it. Kid, you're good, you're strong, you're fast. But a skilled boxer knows how to work around that. A skilled boxer knows how to take away power. What good is that punch if you can't land it? A skilled boxer knows how to deal with pressure and speed and can make good adjustments. Jerron Boots Ennis is not considered to be the next phenom in boxing for no reason, okay? He is extremely good. And by some fighters out there, avoid it. By others, misguided avoid it. But is he ready? I believe for the top guys, yes. He just needs his opportunities. And he needs to like really establish himself, because if you think someone else is just going to give you a free ride up to the top and reach back and say, you know what, Jerron Boots Ennis, Fuck it. You're good enough to be up here with us. I'll sign to fight you, and I'll take the opportunity of losing my status to you because I know you're ready. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. He's going to have to make his way like everybody else made his way. And unfortunately, there's a lot of gaps and inactivity in between Jerron Boots Ennis' career. Now that he got everything worked out and he's finally signed with Ed Hearn and Matchroom, right? I believe now Jerron Boots Ennis, the ending of 2024 and 2025 is going to be a big year for that man right there. And we're going to see where he ends up and who ends up fighting him. And it also is reported that Jerron Boots Ennis is moving up to 154 pounds. And I'm getting that information right from his mouth. I saw an interview where him himself said this. So it can't get no more fact than that. So he is going to throw his hat in the 154-pound weight division and see where it lands. With that weight division now being crowded. And then there was an interview earlier this week, a couple days ago, with um, the Charlo twin, Jamel Charlo, and he was saying he wants to quit. He wants to retire from the sport. I didn't watch the rest of the interview. Somebody tell me that he changed his mind at the end. I was just like, wow. But I kind of take it. Sometimes boxers say crazy shit. Remember when Lopez won the WBO title from Josh Taylor and he announced to the world he was quitting? And everybody was like, why are you quitting? But the truth behind the scene, he was going through an ugly divorce and she was trying to get him for every dime. What she was trying to do is tell the courts, based on what he makes as a boxer, that this is how much he should pay her. And Tio was trying to tell the courts, I'm no longer a boxer. I retired. I quit. See, look, Your Honor, this is me. I retired. That's all Tio was doing. He wasn't, you know what I mean? So that's a different situation. You see what I'm saying? And entirely, Shakur Stevenson got on after, I guess, Top Rank didn't give him a fight. And he also retired. Miraculously, they never vacated those guys' belts. So boxers say, a lot of shit. I just hope Jermell Charlo finds his way back because boxing in his weight division right now is getting packed. And he could stand to be in some real interesting fights if he was to get his act together and quickly get back to the sport. What else you guys want to talk about? Let me catch up to you guys. Let me read up further here. Yeah, go ahead, Jose. Look more into the story. Uh, John, yeah, I'm looking forward to that Naoya Inoue fight. I was watching some some training video with Naoya Inoue, and you got to be careful when you're watching it because a lot of times they'll have on the shirts, they'll be showing the training video, right? And I saw one and they were advertising it as if he was training for Luis Pantera Nares in this training video, right? His father Shingo was on the rope and the shirt read July 29th. So that's when that fight, the shirt he was showing for that fight. So I was like, oh, that's old video. And then some of the video was mixed in with newer video. And I can tell because Naoya Inoue, you can tell by the size of him. And that's how I was able to determine the old video from the new video. Uh, um, I was watching a video with him hitting this black punching bag, and he kind of had like, I think like brown, like jogging pants, and there was some kids watching him. So he was obviously doing it for a little bit of publicity, and you could see his shoulders and his neck, and you could see his legs through the pants and his calves. Right, he looks a lot bigger, and he's moving well with the weight and everything. Luis Pantera Nares, I went out and I checked out some of his training videos. And when you're hitting the bag, uh, He looked a lot sharper. He looks like he's taking fat away from his punches, just like I had said, where that he's tightening up the angle of the punches. Like he usually likes to throw it from here, right? There's too much fat on it. You have to tighten it up and try to get it in closer like this. But my only concern is with one training camp and not being so fluent in this, does he have the mental fortitude to keep it together? Or when he gets hit with a big shot, is he going to divert right back into the old fighter? You know, many times I've seen guys work at things in the gym, but as soon as they get touched up or hurt, they forget about everything that they worked on and they just go right back to what they know. You got to be really mentally prepared and believe in your training to stick to the game plan. If things are going wrong, which I anticipate for the Mexican fighter, um, he needs to know when and where to make adjustments, um, and try to be more defensively sound, but also try to give the Japanese superstar something to think about and try to like hold hold them back a little. Hold the Japanese, because if you think that you're just gonna shell up and receive what's coming in, that seems to be a lot of fighters' mistake against this Japanese guy. It seems to be their mistake. When they shell up like that, he really punishes you. And although you're blocking the shots with your arms and the glove, let me tell you, those punches that they're blocking, it still rattles your brain. You could still feel it like boom, you know, and a lot of people say that he hits very hard. So I can't wait for this fight because every time I see Naoya Inoue fight, man, I get my popcorn, I sit down, and I know I'm in for a show. You're going to get that moment in the fight that you're going to jump out of your seat and you're going to be like, holy shit, right? I can almost guarantee it. Um, he's truly right now on a pace that is historical, entering his 23rd consecutive world title fight. That's pretty impressive in a row, like consecutive. There's no split. 23 professional fights, his last 23 have been all world title fights, and with four weight divisions, with no in between. Yo, that's some video game shit, man. And like, I can't wait to see him. I was thinking back at it, watching some of his training videos, and I was noticing that when Naoya Inoue, he has this movement in his feet where that he stands on the balls of his feet, but slightly the back part of his foot slightly touches and elevates off the ground constantly. He has like this small bounce and a twitch in his movement where that you can see his foot kind of like on every bounce it's going like this, right? Which I started realizing that gives him the mobility to either dart right or dart left. So in his movement, he's anticipating either already going to the right or left off of what he's giving you. Sometime he'll hit it with the jab and he'll double up on the jab, but he'll go one downstairs, one upstairs, right? And you know how Vasil Lomachenko has that movement with his foot where he parries and swings around the fighter, real quick, and all of a sudden you think he's in front of you and then he's on the right of you. The Japanese superstar Naoya Inoue can do that very well. He did it against Stephen Kubo Fulton and a few other different fighters. I was watching his training videos though, because sometimes you do shit in in training that you usually don't do in the gym, because I mean in the ring, because you're taking that fight more seriously. So the real elite guys, you should see them in sparring sometime. They even look that much better, and I was watching him toy around with a few of his sparring partners, and you could see that every sparring partner that goes in with him, they're trying, they want to show to him that they're ready, that they want to be on that level, right? and he's on the ropes, and I don't know the guy's name that's in front of him. I have no idea who he is, right? But I think he's another Japanese gentleman. And he has Naoya Inoue against the ropes, and he's firing off on him. And Naoya Inoue is like this. He's like da da da. He pushes the kid back, and he tries like this uppercut. And no matter if the uppercut worked or not, he tried it like 3 times in a row. He was just trying the angle of the punch. That's all he was doing. So when the kid started, trying to open up, Naoya Inoue put him in his place quick. Yo, listen, he fired off the shots. He was like, "Whoppa!" Yo, the kid, he showed them up. And then all of a sudden, for the remaining of the round, all you saw the kid was just like he didn't want to hurt him again. Yo, sometimes the champ has to like calm you down, let you know, listen, you're here to get me better, to work on some things. Calm down, young man. I am who I am, you know. You learn and I learn, like that. So like I watched them and stuff, and you know, like a lot of the greats, every time I watch Naoya Inoue, I try to take something else from him or what he's actually doing in there. Every time I watch him, I come away with something. So it's good to watch him, to really like get into the mind of a fighter like that. Why does he do what he does? Why is he moving the way he's moving? And what he chose to do in other fights, and as I go down the list of his fights and I watch him, I watch all these different things that he does. Some fights he really utilizes his jab in some fights. Some fights he doesn't. Some fights he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to really like use it as a rangefinder or to set it up, man. He just goes down to the body with a vicious body attack. So, like Des Martinez found out. I don't think he really used the jab too much in that fight. You know, he's good in all areas. So I can't wait to see that fight. Fight family. Oscar the cokehead kid. See, this Jose Rodriguez, this is exactly why I didn't want Oscar de la Hoya to open up this can of worms, because it's gonna come back and bite him in the ass, because he's gonna get a lot of Puerto Ricans and Latin people to lash out at him, okay, because of the stupid stuff that he said. And I told him not to do this. So like I'm trying to tell him not to do this. You see, because the way he did it was distasteful. It was distasteful because you do realize you are basically calling Subriel Matias mother or what? I'll let you fill in the blanks. I don't want to say. Yeah, listen, I'm treading softly. Like I Subriel, my man. Like I never want to disrespect you. I ain't never. I'm coming to your defense. And I see what this piece of shit is doing. You see what I'm saying? I see the angle he's taking this, man. And I'm like, bro, you might not want to do this, homeboy. But, you know, um, promoters are fucking shitbags, bro. They are. And they're above nothing. And anything that these boxing promoters do, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. You hate them one minute, you love them the next because they bring you one of the biggest fights. They're in there every day trying to stab each other in the back, shit talking another guy, boosting up their guy, telling lies on another guy, spreading gossip on this guy. That's what a boxing promoter does. That's who they are. And at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? Look, I know that Oscar De La Hoya is wearing his promotional cap. I hope that he doesn't allow that to make him and fall into that type of person, where he believes half his shit. Because Oscar De La Hoya is not the person that can talk shit to anyone with all the skeletons in his closet. And if he wants to open this can of worm and get all this criticism, I guess some, like, I guess these boxing promoters are outdoing each other. They see that Mayweather's getting talk shit by Tank Davis, and Tank Davis is saying how he's sleeping with his daughter, right? Oscar De La Hoya is like, fuck that. I want to be disrespected more than Floyd Mayweather. I'm not going to let him beat me in anything. I bet you I can stir something up that I get disrespected way more than Floyd. Yeah, listen. Oh, it's like these guys come out and, good publicity, bad publicity, they don't care. If Floyd's in the news, Oscar's like, fuck. No, I gotta say something now. And it seems like he just stirs up the beehive, you know, and to see which promoter can be called the worstest shitbag out of both of them. I don't know. I don't know. But it's always during times when their fighters happen to have fights, isn't it? Some of their big guys, you know? Is all these stories about Floyd Mayweather being trapped in Dubai because he owes Dubai people money and that he's been out there for over 50 days and they got him locked in over there. Um, and Tank Davis and 50 Cents came on and said, we got to put our money together because we got to bring the champ back home. LOL. They're laughing. And like they're trying to say that Mayweather, was out there conning these people, telling them I get whatever he was going to do. Then Floyd Mayweather responded and he said he was traveling the world and he went here to Paris, to London, back to Paris. He went over here, over there. Then he went to Dubai and that he happened just to be in Dubai for 50 days. What you mean? You ain't never stood nowhere no 50 days. And they're saying that in actuality, they got him like on some restrictions out there type shit. He can only do so many things. Him and his people, they can't leave. Either whatever the negotiation, I don't know what it was. I can only imagine. I think he said he was going to box over there. Like, what else would you get from Floyd Mayweather? You know, if it's women, just fly them in. I don't know about, but it can't be women because they're saying he's in debt to them millions of dollars. So I'm under the impression that he promised them a fight. And Tank Davis is saying that he did that more than once out there. That he also promised some other people out there a fight, and he took their money. He took the money up front and never gave him the fight. And now that they found out that he was out there, I guess now they got him trapped. I don't know. I don't know how true all this shit is out, but these are the things that Tank Davis himself is typing out, so I know this to be true. I also know to be true that what I said was what Floyd Mayweather said himself about him traveling and him about being in Dubai for like the past 40, 50 days. And that was a recording that came out from Mayweather. But Mayweather said he wasn't trapped out there. He said he was just taking care of business and that the trap part was a lie. That's what Mayweather said. And Tank saying, no, no, he trapped and he owed them money. That's what he's saying. See, so yeah, 55,000 Tokyo Dome. It's all Naoya Inoue Day. Him and his brother are gonna be fighting. It's gonna be a big fucking day for that family. Their father must be proud. He has two world champions simultaneously, in fact. That's crazy, huh? Your dad. Here you are at the cookout. Oh hi. Oh hi. How you doing? Yeah. So um, my kid, my son is works at a fucking oil doctor and Walmart. What do your son do? Oh, champions of the world, both of them. Yeah, two world champions, not one but two. Hey, as a dad, bro, I would be, I'd carry wallet sized pictures this big. I'd show it to you even if you didn't ask. Oh, you want to see my sons? Here. Oh, you don't know. We know who your sons are, Edwin. So what? You're gonna see again. Yo, it's crazy. Like, nah, their father gotta be happy, man, that their sons are world champions, man. It's gonna be a big day for them, you know. Okay, what were you guys talking about here, brothers? Nathan, what's up? Is the rumor true when he injured his hand going into the. Huh? Okay, I don't get what you guys are talking about here. Okay, let me see what Arnando says. 154 pounds. Crawford boots Ennis when he moves up. Virgil Ortiz. Jimzu is going to have a very hard time in that weight. I left out Fendora. He was a um look, if Terrence Crawford can walk up to 154 pounds from 147 pounds, depending how he does against Israel, let me see what he really looks like. The thing with Terrence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis, I believe Jaron Boots Ennis is big enough to already be 140, 154 pounder. He might be he's just that athletic enough where that he can be in a unique case like the Japanese superstar where he moves up one weight division and doesn't lose anything. He doesn't lose any speed, any power, kind of like a Tank Davis when he moved up to 140 against Mario Barrio. He looked sharp. He might have been fatter. Tank Davis didn't have no abs in that fight, but he was sharp and his speed was right there. His twitch muscles were right there. Everything was on point for Tank Davis. And I believe Jerron Boots Ennis fits in that kind of category of men that if he was to move up to 154, it would only make him stronger. That's it. I don't think his speed, his skills, anything would be diminished. I believe he's a great athlete. And he played multiple sports, so I think he'll fare well, very well. And I believe him when he says that he wants to hold on to his belt at 147 pounds, because I believe he's just that type of man that can cut weight, go down, kick ass, move up, kick ass. I believe he's that kind of athlete. Yeah, and in fact, I don't think he's going to have any problems against these guys. I think these guys might have problems with Jerron Boots Ennis. And as far as Sebastian Fendora, okay, he's big, he's lengthy. The best fight he ever fought out of range was against that Tim Tszyu fight. That's it. That is the only time I've ever seen him fight like that and stay disciplined like that. Can he maintain and adapt and believe into that style of fighting? We're going to find out. Okay. Tim Tszyu, for the most part, was cracking him hard, but he wasn't a really big mobile fighter. Tim Tszyu is not a mobile fighter. He knows how to move. He has kind of smart feet, but basically he's in your face, and he has a quick step. Tim Tszyu's first step is underrated, I think, by boxing. I like his first step and that shot, overhand shot. I think it's really slick and fast, and he catches most opponents with that. In fact, that was the shot that broke Sebastian Fondora's nose. Okay, so you see, when you categorize, Sebastian Fundora against fighting a fighter that's such as Tim Tszyu, he's more of a flat-footed type fighter. I mean, he utilizes movement. Don't get me wrong, he does, but not like Jerron Boots Ennis does. Jerron Boots Ennis is gonna cut on you, and he's gonna create angles. That's different. And what knocked out Sebastian Fundora was a quick angle shift move by Martinez there where he came over the top and hit him, and Sebastian just went out. That's exactly what gave him trouble. So when you're putting him up against a fighter that has smart feet and and has a good ring IQ and has a good volume selection of punches. And Jerron Boots Ennis has a multiple punch selection he can go to in his arsenal. Not like your basic boxer, where some of them are just typically, your jab, you got your basic overhand right, or your one uppercut and your two, your body shots. Jerron Boots Ennis is much more than that. His angles of his punches and the way he creates his openings will give Sebastian Fundora some trouble. And then unless you got a huge gash on the top of your forehead and blood is spilling into your eyes, you got a chance against him. Yeah, because Sebastian Fedora, if technically you want to think about it, he hasn't really fought anybody. The biggest name on his whole thing is Tim Tszyu, and we all saw how that fight played out. I think if you ran that fight back and there was no cut on the forehead, I think Tim Tszyu might beat him. Tim Tszyu, it took him a little bit longer than what he liked to figure him out. And then the cut changed everything. You see? So if they fight again, now Tim Tszyu's more familiar with Sebastian, I believe Tim Tszyu will stop him. Yeah, I really do. I think Tim Tszyu will stop Sebastian Fundora the next time they meet. Yeah, I think he'll beat him. So, and I'll take Tim Tszyu in that fight. I would love to see Sebastian Fundora beat Tim Tszyu again. Yeah, I have to see that. So, yeah, yeah, he does have it tough in that division, man. Oh man, fighters like Xander Zion and a lot of these guys, these kids, man. Uh, they're gonna have it tough. There's a lot of big hitters in those division. You even have your David Morrell, coming up at 275 pounds and stuff like that. New guys, young guys moving up. A lot of people are starting to move up. You're starting to notice in this year alone, there are a lot of guys getting too big for certain divisions, and everybody's starting to move upward, and all the new guys are starting to come in. Yeah. And then in 2025 is when we're going to get a clash. Yeah, we're going to get a clash of the Titans, baby. I mean, and then you're going to get the top guys fighting against the top prospects. Who's around with the top prospects? Who when they all meet up and face each other and stuff. And then more cards are going to start to develop, like the card that they used in August. We're gonna be prepared to start seeing bigger and better fighting boxing cards. Upcoming in the future. So, if Saudi has anything to say about it, and like I said, it was cool that they kept it in America and they recognized that the majority of all those fighters were American fighters. I mean, there's some Muslim fighters on the card, yeah, but you would be better off promoting that fight in America with Terrence Crawford rather than taking them to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Listen, I believe that Ryan Garcia's brother's gonna fight one of the Vargases, right? Isn't that on the horizon? So they're gonna be fighting the Vargas's little tribe there, the three brothers and their father. They were taking shots at each other on social media. I like the Vargas little tribe there. They're coming along good. They're bringing. I think the way they're bringing along those boys, each of them, I think they're doing a hell of a job with them boys. You know, um, they're 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 beating the guys that they put in front of them, and the way that they're doing it, I like that little Vargas clan there. Let's see I believe it's the youngest one that's going to be fighting against them. Don't hold me on that. I gotta check. I don't know if it's the middle one or the youngest one, but I think it's the youngest one. I'm pretty sure it was the youngest one, but I know it wasn't the oldest one, right? And he's gonna be fighting him. So I want to check that out, see what's going on there. I'm gonna tune in for that, and they're gonna be fighting in June 1st. Yeah, and they're gonna be fighting on a different card. I know that you're probably already thinking June 1st. Isn't that when Anthony Dante Wilder is fighting? Yes, Dante Wilder is fighting June 1st, but he's not fighting on the same card that the Vargas sons are fighting on. That's a separate card. And in fact, I also want to report one more thing, that it is also being reported that the Gervonta Davis fight against Frank the Ghost Martin will be in fact on June 15th, which is the same day Subriel Matias fights in Puerto Rico. Yeah, I guess Tank's promotional company was shooting for another event, another venue, or another date in that same building, and they couldn't work it out. They couldn't, and the only day that they have is the June 15th date. So now, that kind of fucks shit up a little bit, because I believe a lot of Americans are going to want to watch Tank Davis, and it may take you away from the Subriel Matias, but I can already tell you, as for myself, I'll tell you exactly where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in row 103, seat 14 in Puerto Rico watching Subriel Matias. That's where I'm going to be on June 15th. Okay, so it goes to show you what fight I'm watching, because I'm going to actually be at his fight. So, you know, so Tank Davis couldn't get it done. And on the Tank Davis card, you got David the Monster Benavidez, making an appearance and fighting on his card. That's going to be a big card. And then Tank Davis now, allegedly, Camille Moten was supposed to fight on his card. And I guess, he's stuck in the middle of this Tank Davis, Floyd Mayweather shit. And Camille Moten, man, he's a young boxer. Tank Davis should have a little bit more, he should recognize that he's young. He really didn't say no shit, Tank. And Tank threatened to take him off the card on June 15th. And he said, "You won't be fighting on my card." And then Camille Moten responded back, "Yeah, I am." You know, but, he shouldn't take that so personal. He's a kid. He's a 17-year-old kid, Tank. Come on, man. Really, man? Nah, nah, nah. Tank acting like he's a king, like nobody can speak up against him. There's been a lot of shit talking you heard in your life. You don't fucking want to kill everybody or hang everybody that said for every little word about you. Shit. What your feelings are hurt. You can't take a little 17-year-old comment. Oh, leave Floyd alone. He's TBE, the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, because he said that, you're like off my card. Damn, bro. Chill out. Chill out, bro. What's up, Peter? You see, this is where the shit talking is gonna come out with Oscar. See, everybody gonna tell you, because we gonna lash back out. His punk ass should have never said no shit. He should have never. And like, it's not like I'm coming out right now. No, I'm coming out to Subriel Matias' defense, and I'm bringing you guys the story. But let's just keep this in mind. Subriel and Oscar already went at it online. These are the story that's coming out of that. So, you know what I mean? So, he had already put his foot, yeah, right up there. And I'm like, come on, Oscar, what you doing, bro? You know? But he's trying to like divide you as fans and question his credibility as being Puerto Rican. And it's just a shitbag move, bro. And we all know, and I'm here to tell you, he was born in Puerto Rico at a nice little hospital there, and that's Puerto Rico's son. You can't take that away from us. But yeah, Oscar's such a shitbag that this is his angle. And when you think about it, right? It's not like Liam Paro is Oscar's fighter, because Liam Paro is signed to Ed Hearns, Matchroom. Subriel Matia is signed to Ed Hearns. So if you're thinking maybe he's saying this because of Liam Paro, no, that's not his fighter. I'm trying to tell you, Oscar's thinking 2, 3 steps ahead. And this isn't for future planning. He already planted the seed. Oscar may not respond to any of this. He already knows he's going to take criticism. He's been down this road before as a promoter. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows he's going to take the heat. He's going to ignore all those messages and he's going to relive that same topic with that seed he planted whenever it's convenient for him. Mark my words. He knows what to do. This is promotional shit. And I can see it. I can see it, you know? And it's usually when promoters do things like this, they are shitbag topics. That's exactly why they do it too, right? Yeah. Armando, what's up? I think that Vargas is a little too much for I don't know about that, man. I don't know. You want to know something? You want to know something, Armando? I'm starting to think that they dressed up Virgil like they dressed up Devin Haney. Virgil competition has been less than great. All his fights coming up, he really hasn't fought those kind of fights. And I think that his impressive winning streak and knockout ratio is due in fact to his competition that is not that up there. You understand? And I think that they dressed him up real nice. Tim Zoo, Tim Zoo is he's an active fighter. He's a good battle tested man, and he's fought, like the Tony Harrisons and stuff. And for the most part, he's fought fast fighters, strong fighters, boxing technicians, and Tim Zoo's a very crafty fighter. He knows how to get those sneaky shots in on the inside, and he can surprise you with his boxing speed. He might not look or come off like a fast fighter, but don't be confused. Tim Zoo is really fast on the inside, and he hits really hard. You can see on Sebastian Fendora's face and a lot of the fighters that he fought on their face and their reaction to what they said after the fight. Don't sleep on Tim Zoo. Don't. And don't think because Virgil Hill's a Mexican fighter that applies to him. He still hasn't shown that he's that type of Mexican fighter for me. You see, and I think they dressed him up real nice. I have a feeling that Tim Zoo's gonna expose Virgil Hill. I'm gonna look. If Virgil Hill shows up to this fight and beats Tim Zoo, right? Then I would say now he has proven he belongs with those kind of guys. And I can honestly say, but if he hasn't done it, why should I give him credit for it? Why should I give Virgil Ortiz credit for fighting the type of fighters that Tim Zeus fought? He legitimately did it. So I can't base that on it. And if you're all, as you can see, if you're not fighting the top notch competition, that can affect your performance. Ask Devin Haney. Yeah. So until he, earns that right, I'm gonna have to side with Tim Zoo on this one. I really am. I like Virgil. I like. He looks good. He does. I just need to see him fight better quality opponents. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know. Yeah, listen, Carlos, it is a big test for him. It is. Mark my words, guys. If you really break down, listen, after this video, go down and check out his highlights and pay attention to the guy across from him and ask yourself, who the fuck is that guy? And I bet you're going to find yourself saying that in a lot of his fights. Who the hell is this guy? 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 You're going to find yourself doing that. The toughest thing he got was an interim belt, I think it was, right? He was Terrence Crawford's mandatory for over 2 years. He never put in the paperwork. He had the WBO interim belt. Terrence Crawford had the WBO regular that he had won off of Jeff Warren, and he never fought Terrence Crawford. For over 2 years, you were my mandatory. At any point in time, you could have just went, I want to fight you. There was nothing I could have did that would have halted my career because the WBO would have been like, you can't take another step forward until you acknowledge this mandatory. That's all. That's all. And for over 2 years, he never put in the paperwork. He never fought him. So it made me question, okay, let's be honest. That doesn't make you a duck. It's just you being honest. And I was prepared to side with Virgil Ortiz on this one and say, well, if he's actually being honest with himself and saying, I'm just not ready for him right now, I'll fight him later down the line, but I'm not ready for him right now, then I can respect that. I can respect that. I'll be like, bro, the man knows who he is. He knows where he's at. Let him get better, Terrence Crawford. Don't worry. Ortiz is going to come for you. You know what I'm saying? And you need him. And then all of a sudden, he started inactivity, not fighting, coming back from 12-month layoffs, doing all this stuff. And it was just like, how many times have we seen that from boxers? So, this fight right here is going to solidify him, and either one way or not, we're all going to get a question answer out of Virgil Ortiz Jr. And the question is going to be, did he belong here this whole time? Was he really that guy and he beats Tim Tszyu? Or he wasn't never on that level and they dressed him up real well. And it depends on his performance. I strike that because it doesn't always have to go down that way. He can lose and still get an A in his performance. Like if they go out there and fucking, put on like a performance of the night, fight of the night type shit, right? And they were both, and it was like razor thin, and maybe he knocked down Tim Tszyu and Tim Tszyu knocked down him, or he comes back in the fight, and it was real close, and it could have went either way. Well, then he'll prove to the world that he belongs. And he can walk away a moral victory, and that can also shoot his career in a different trajectory, because there's been a lot of fighters in a loss, their stock rised. Esau Pitbull Cruz lost to Tank Davis, his stock rised, you know so Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia lost to Tank Davis, his stock rised. So yeah, in a loss, sometimes your stock can rise, and I've seen it in the sport of boxing. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, let's hear. Let's read it. I agree. This is a big fight. Okay, I read that one. Other one I say, Xander Zion. Yeah, Xander Zion. I know who you were talking about. Yeah, I wasn't ready to bring him into the conversation, but Xander Zion is a young top Puerto Rican prospect. And I don't want them to rush him along. He looks good against the guy that he is fighting. You can see that he needs a lot of work. And I'm not ready to introduce him or interject him into the conversation with the lights of fighters, of the fighters that we're talking about. I think it's a little too early just still. I believe he needs another year or so, and fight some other guys right around his range, and let's see how he looks against those guys. He looks strong against the guys that he's fighting, but he doesn't belong in this conversation just yet. So I was going to come back and touch him, but also just bring him in the conversation by himself, not with these guys, because he's not ready for these guys just yet. He will be, and that's one of the fighters that I'm talking about, that when 2005 come, the young prospects are going to meet up with the champions, and we're going to have an explosion year. I expect that young man right there to be one of the fighters that is doing exactly that. And those are the fighters that I'm talking about. When the smoke clears, if he is successful and he keeps winning the fights he needs to, he will soon be there. And I will be talking more about him, you know. But he's not where these guys are right now. He's not in the room with the Terrence Crawfords, the Israels, the Tim Tszus, things like Sebastian Fedoras right now. He's not in that room right now. And that room is already packed. So he needs to kick down the door and get in there first. 100 KO is not all the same. Arthur Benavides, Subriel Matias, then Ortiz. Yeah, 100% KO ratio is not all the same. Not when you're basing it off not the top best opponents. The two gentlemen right now in the sport of boxing that have a 100% KO ratio and that is 100% certified by boxing is Subriel Matia and Arthur Benavides because they beat the top guys. They beat the number one guy. They beat the champion. They beat so forth. Their claim to fame is not only did they beat all the guys coming up, but when they got to the top guys, they maintained 100% knockout ratio. Ortiz's knockout ratio doesn't come with no world titles, no fighting the top guys, no competing, no multiple belt divisions, or like Arthur. Arthur got three freaking belts, bro, maintaining 100% knockout ratio. That is stamped and certified. That's a certified 100% knockout ratio. Subriel Matias is knocking off mandatories, title defenses, number one guy, number two guy. That's official. Boom. 100% knockout ratio certified. Ortiz is not fighting for titles, not fighting any of the number one guys, and his 100% knockout ratio is best based on not even breaking the top 10. That's not official. Anybody can maintain. Look at what's his name, the Puerto Rican fighter there, the middleweight guy there, Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga came out what 100% knockout ratio, 16 straight fights, knockouts. Where's Edgar Berlanga at now? Didn't they dress him up nice? Oh, he's a phenom, a phenomenon. He's gonna be the best middleweight ever. No one can even get out the first round with him. Where is he at now? How nice did they dress him up? I'll wait, bro. Come on, man. He just won and got a knockout and had to cry about it because his knockouts, his fights been so fucking boring. His last fight, he actually cried when he got a knockout because he don't even know how to do that anymore. Virgil's 100% knockout ratio is not the same. And like I'm telling you guys, they're dressing them up real nice, bro. They put a nice dress on them, bro. They got some nice high heels on them. Hey, yo, they got an umbrella. They got him an umbrella, and he's out in the sun. Oh, he look real pretty, real pretty. You know what I mean? Wait until he gets into that ring with Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu's a warrior, battle tested. I would love to see this fight. I've been dying to watch um, Ortiz fight a quality opponent such as Tim Tszyu. I don't think that Ortiz thinks that Tim Tszyu is as good as he thinks he is. Watch. I'm gonna tell you, Tim Tszyu's good. He's real good. Yo, the way he beat Tony Harrison. Now, Tony Harrison knows a lot about boxing. And he was in shape. He was in shape. It just showed that Tim Tszyu, his punch was heavier, man. He was stopping him, baby. Yeah, he was. Yeah. What happened? What happened? My brother, listen to the Puerto Rican. I'm a what? Money problems. What are we talking about here? Excellent, 100%. De Hoya didn't raise his own daughter. Hey, see, shit's coming out. Shit is coming out. Wow. It's Arthur Benevitiev. Bro, if you're new to my channel, um, that's Hellspawn. You know me, Hellspawn. I'm the name killer, bro. You know me, man. But you know I mean well, and I'm working on it in the pronunciation of these guys' names. You guys know that I've been practicing this, for a while. But thank you for. I can take constructive criticism, and when I pronounce a name wrong, and you word it out, and I'm not gonna get offended. Thank you for helping me. And if you could break down the pronunciation like they helped me with Naoya Inoue's name, you have to say his name from diaphragm, Naoya Inoue, yeah, the Japanese, they talk from diaphragm, right, right. Edwin, do you know that was knockout fighter? Abraham Lincoln was a bald knuckle fighter. Abraham Lincoln, the president of United States. Next thing you're gonna tell me he was a vampire killer. Yo, yo, did he also kill vampires on the and zombie on the weekends and shit? Yo, but maybe he was. That would be dope. That would be dope. Like Abraham Lincoln, bare knuckle fighter. Probably when he was a young man, he did some shit. You know, you never know. So, hey guys, listen, man, fight fans. I love you guys, man. It's been awesome chatting with you guys. Listen, leave your likes and comments in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be informed of my next video before I drop it, click that bell icon and it'll keep you notified of the next video I drop. So, fight fans, man. Oh yeah, yes, it is him. Well, I'm gonna look that up. I might do a video on that, guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, I am gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. You know what I'm saying, Armando? Listen, you guys have been the best. I love you guys. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Give the video a like, guys. Thank you. I'm out. Peace.